Good morning, all of you. Now we are going to start with CSIR NET JRF June 2017 Chemical Science RC Series 5. In the previous session, we completed Series 1, 2, 3, 4, each series consisting 10 questions, and entire part B have been completed in the single session. So we already completed 2018 June and December, 2019 June and December, even 2020 June November question papers. So all the solved question papers are available on the World of Competitive Chemistry, right? So today we are in series 5 of June 2017. 10 questions are going to be covered in this session. It will be very much helpful for your competitive examinations and even entrance examinations, right? Let us enter into our actual concept. So the series 5 consisting question number 101 to 110 of CSIR NET JRF Chemical Science June 2017 part C. Let us discuss question number 101. It is a part of physical chemistry. The figure below depicts an adsorption isotherm of oxygen on charcoal at 90 Kelvin temperature, right? So here it is the adsorption isotherm which plotted between pressure versus volume. So this kind of curvature is obtained. In accordance with this, what is the right statement? At a pressure 25 tar, only 10% of charcoal sites are occupied by oxygen. Therefore, the ratio of adsorption to desorption rate contains in tar is close to. So here, the ratio of adsorption and desorption to be predicted by using this graphical representation, right? And data is also provided, pressure conditions and 10% adsorption possible on the charcoal by this oxygen molecule. This data is given. Based on this, we have to predict the ratio of adsorption to desorption. Adsorption stands for any molecule which occupying the surface region of any bulk material is called adsorption. Desorption in the sense removal of the particles from the surface to the exterior region, that is called a desorption. Desorption is the reciprocal of adsorption. There is a simultaneous process. If it is a reversible thing, so there is a simultaneous. Some of the molecules get adsorbed on the surface and some other will be what eliminated from the surface. That is a kind of reversible process. Okay. So we have to predict the ratio of adsorption to desorption by using the formula, that is K is equal to theta by 1 minus theta into 1 by P, right? Here, theta, how much percentage of sites occupied by the molecule? 10%. So theta stands for 10% of a region occupied by the molecule. This is the rate of adsorption, right? So we can predict 10 by 100 is equal to 0.1. In the entire surface region, 0.1 extent of space occupied by oxygen molecules on the charcoal surface, right? So this theta value is known to us. Then let us substitute this theta value in the given equation. K is equal to theta by 1 minus theta into 1 by P, right? So K is equal to, theta is nothing but 0.1. So K 0.1 by 1 minus 0.1 into 1 by P. So pressure term is also provided within the problem. How much pressure provided? 25 tar. And even we have to predict in tars again. That's why need not to transform the units. Value given in tars and even rate of adsorption, desorption should be predicted in tar value only. So that's the reason why tar can be taken as such. 0.1 by 1 minus 0.1 into 1 by 25. Okay, this will be the formula. Just we are substituting all the values. By this, we will get 0.0044. Right? 0.0044 tar inverse will be the rate of adsorption to desorption ratio. Rate of adsorption to desorption ratio. How it will be predicted? Based on the formula theta by 1 minus theta into 1 by P. Okay, so this K is nothing but ratio of adsorption to desorption. How can we determine theta? The amount of region occupied by the oxygen molecule is 10%. 10% nothing but 0.1 space occupied by oxygen. So theta value is 0.1. When we substitute theta and P pressure terms in this equation, we will get the final ratio, that is 0.0044 tar inverse. So option number 2 will be the right answer. For question number 101, option number 2 will be the right answer. Let us move on to question number 102. Polonium is the only metal known to exist in simple cubic lattice form. Okay. Simple cubic lattice form is available for polonium molecule in general. The density of polonium at 0 degrees centigrade is measured to be 10 gram per centimeter cube. The atomic radius of polonium would then be assumed to the mass of polonium is equal to 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 22 grams. Right. So based on this data, we have to predict what we have to predict the atomic radius of polonium. Atomic radius measured in angstroms that should be depicted by using the given data. For that purpose, we are using the formula rho is equal to Zm by Na. Z is nothing but charge, M is nothing but molar mass, A is the activity coefficient, Na is nothing but Avogadro number. Now let us go with A. A is equal to, so actually we have A cube, right? So we are going to calculate A value, that A is equal to Z into M by rho whole to the power 1 by 3. Because only we are taking A, that's why the entire term, remaining term becomes a 1 by 3, right? So we will substitute all these. For polonium, charge will be 1 into 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 22. 2.7 polonium. Assume that mass of polonium is given, that is 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 22, that is provided within the problem, right, by rho. Rho value is also provided density. So density value is given as 10. Density value is given as 10, right? So we substituted all the values and 3 into 10 to the power minus 3. So after calculating all this, the value obtained in centimeters will be 3 centimeters, right? So that now it is converted into angstroms. 3 angstroms it will be. 3 into 10 to the power minus 3 centimeters converted into angstrom values, right? So now what is the requirement now? Only the requirement is atomic radius. Atomic radius R is given by A by 2. A is taken as 3. This 3 by 2 is nothing but 1.5 angstroms. Half of that one. Okay, 1.5 angstrom is the right answer. For question number 1 or 2, option number 3 will be the right answer. Let us discuss in brief again. Rho, nothing but density, is equal to Zm by A cube into Na. Here, A value can be required to calculate. From this A, it is possible to calculate R value. R is nothing but radius. Okay. So now A is equal to Zm by rho whole to the power 1 by 3. If we assume 1 mole, then this is the equation. So value of charge will be 1 and the mass of the compound, mass of the polonium given in the problem, that is 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 22. So rho is nothing but density, that is also provided. So if we substitute all, we will get 3 into 10 to the power minus 3. So that can be transformed into angstroms. 3 angstroms is the A value. So in order to predict the radius is equal to A by 2. That is nothing but 3 by 2. 3 by 2 value will be 1.5 angstroms. Hence, for question number 1 or 2, 3 is the right answer. Let us move on to question number 1 or 3. Specific conductance of solution is 0.176 ohm inverse centimeter inverse. If the cell constant is 0.255 centimeter inverse, the conductance of the solution is, right? It is the question based on electrochemistry. We have to predict the conductance value to be predicted. So cell constant value is provided to us. Cell constant denoted by L by A. That is 0.255 value is provided. Specific conductance value kappa. Specific conductance denoted with kappa. Kappa is equal to 0.176 ohm inverse centimeter inverse. Right. So here specific conductance formula will be K is equal to G into L by A. Specific K denotes kappa, that is specific conductance. G is nothing but conductance of the solution which are needed to be predicted, right? So L by A, length of the system, by A denotes area of cross section, right? So here G is required because specific conductance value is given. Cell constant value is given. Only the requirement is what is the conductance of the given solution. G is equal to K into A by L. G is equal to K into A by L. K will be given, K value is already known, 0.176. A by L. L by A value is given to us. So we have to take the reciprocal. A by L is nothing but 1 by 0.255, right? So after substituting all the values, G is predicted as 0.690 ohm inverse. This is the conductance. Conductance is nothing but reciprocal of the resistance, right? So that value is 0.690 ohm inverse. Where it is? Option number 2. This is based on the formula K is equal to G into L by A. K is specific conductance, G is the conductance of the system, L by A is nothing but cell constant, L is the length, A is the area of cross section. For question number 103, option number 2 will be the right answer. Let us move on to question number 104. Photochemical desorption of HI takes place with the following mechanism, right? So here it is the kind of photochemical decomposition. Photochemical decomposition of HI. So it is the chemical kinetics. The problem given from chemical kinetics. HI decomposition under photochemical conditions. HI, upon treating with H nu, irradiation with light, HI can be dissociated into H plus I. This HI can be treated with either hydrogen. So it proceeded with a K1 rate constant. Formation of hydrogen plus iodine is possible. Then we are treating this I with I plus M, which proceeded with K2 rate constant. Now we turned into iodine molecule plus M will be generated. So these are the possible reactions in the given photochemical decomposition of HI. How it will be decomposed? Finally, HI is converted into hydrogen and iodine, right? Considering hydrogen and iodine atoms as intermediates in the rate of removal of HI is, the rate of removal of HI is, okay, rate of removal of HI to be predicted. For that purpose, we have the formula dHI by dt. HI is nothing but reactant. What are the products? Hydrogen and iodine are the products. dHI by dt is equal to minus KIA minus K1 H1 H minus into HI. This will be the formula for dHI by dt. But always reactant concentration will be lower, product concentration will be higher, right? So means reactants will be degraded, product production will be increased as the time passes, right? That's the reason why we have to denote HI decomposition with a negative sign. Minus dHI by dt is equal to minus KIA plus K1 H1 HI. Applying steady state approximation to this equation, dHI by dt is equal to minus Ki minus K1 H dot by HI, right? Now, the formula can be concised into KIA into K1H into HI. KIA into K1H into HI, right? So now H dot is equal to K by K1 IA by HI. K by K1 IA by HI, right? So now dHI by dt, here H dot value is given to us. H dot value can be substituted in this equation. dHI by dt formula we have H dot, right? Instead of H dot we can substitute the value provided to us, right? So minus dHI by dt is equal to KIA plus K1 HI into K by K1 IA by HI. So this H dot value is substituted here. H dot value substituted in this equation, right? So this is the equation what we are taking. This is the equation what we are taking. So in this equation, minus dHI by dt is equal to here, when we are taking minus towards that side, here minus sign will be discarded. KIA plus K1 HI will be taken, this H dot value will be taken, that is K by K1 IA by HI. So this value will be taken here, right? So if we discard all the numerator, denominator equal values, how can we cancel? So the values will be cancelled in such a manner. HI will be there in numerator, HI will be there in denominator. So these two HI values get cancelled. K1 numerator, K1 denominator, these two values get cancelled. The leftover terms will be minus dHI by dt is equal to KIA plus these terms will get cancelled, so that KIA, another KIA will be there. KIA plus KIA. So KIA plus KIA is nothing but 2 KIA, right? So minus dHI by dt is equal to 2 KIA. This will be the final answer. Let us see 2 KIA, right? So this option number 3 is the right statement for question number 104. So option number 3 will be the right answer. So this is purely based on the equation minus dHI by dt is equal to minus KIA plus K1H minus into HI. By using this formula, we calculated rate of removal of HI. 2IA will be the right answer. So for question number 104, option number 3 will be the right answer. Let us move to question number 105. In an enzyme catalyzed reaction, enzyme plus substrate gives rise to enzyme substrate intermediate product. Upon dissociation, this substrate now converted into product. This is enzyme catalyzed reaction. In this enzyme catalyzed reaction, initially substrate is there, finally product is generated. Retention of enzyme is possible in the reaction. This reaction proceeded with K1 for intermediate formation, K2 for final product formation. This intermediate reaction will be reversible, so this enzyme substrate intermediate can be back decomposed into enzyme plus substrate also, right? So K2 value is provided to us 3.42 into 10 to the power 4 second inverse. If concentration of enzyme is equal to 1 into 10 to the power minus 2 mole decimeter inverse cube, the magnitude of maximum velocity and the turnover number using Michael-Menten kinetics are. So Michael-Menten equation to be applied here. So, and what we need to calculate, two things needed to be calculated. One is maximum velocity and the second is turnover number. These two parameters to be predicted by using data. Which data is given? K2 value is provided. Concentration of enzyme is also provided. By using Michael-Menten equation, we have to predict maximum velocity and turnover number. Let us go with given data is K2 is equal to 342 into 10 to the power 4 second inverse. Concentration of enzyme is equal to 1 into 10 to the power minus 2. What is the Vmax value? That is maximum velocity is nothing but Vmax. And next is about turnover number. TON nothing but turnover number. These two are needed to be predicted. Velocity, maximum velocity is equal to K2 into concentration of enzyme, initial concentration of enzyme. So K2 value is 342 into 10 to the power 4 and the enzyme concentration will be 1 into 10 to the power minus 2, right? So if we multiply these two, the product will be 3.42 into 10 to the power 2, right? 3.42 into 10 to the, because there is no other parameters, only the term is 10 to the power 4 is there, 10 to the power minus will be there. Minus 2, here 2 will be cancelled, remaining 2 left over. So no calculation is present in this equation. 342 into 10 to the power 2 will be there, right? So that is about Vmax value. And turnover number is nothing but K2 only. So K2 value is called turnover number. That turnover number, which is given as, actually it is 3.42, it is not 342. 3.42 is that K2 term, right? So it is 3.42. So that turnover number is nothing but K2 value only. That is already there within the problem, 3.42 into 10 to the power 4. So first one will be 3.42 into 10 to the power 2. Vmax will be 10 to the power 2 and 10 to the power 4 will be the turnover number. Option number 1 is satisfying this statement. So in accordance with Michael-Menten equation, Vmax value is calculated by taking product of K2 and the concentration of this enzyme, initial concentration of enzyme. Turnover number exactly is equal to rate constant value. This is directly provided, need not to calculate anything here, right? So for this question number 105, option number 1 will be the right answer. Let us move on to question number 106. Arrhenius equation for two chemical reactions. K1 is equal to A1 e to the power minus E1 by RT. K2 is equal to A2 e to the power minus E2 by RT. If E1 is greater than E2, then given temperature T. So if E1 is greater than E2, right? So if this is the condition, then what will be the relation between rate constant and A value? So that needed to be predicted. For that purpose, we have the derivation. So K1 is provided A1 into e to the power minus E1 by RT, right? So K2 is equal to A2 into e to the power minus E2 by RT. So we are taking K1 by A1 is equal to, so we are taking A1 towards left hand side. Numerator becomes denominator now. K1 by A1 is equal to e to the power minus E1 by RT. K2 by A2 is equal to e to the power minus E2 by RT, right? So if the condition is E1 is greater than E2, E1 is greater than E2, now what happens? K2 by A2 is equal to e to the power minus E2 by RT. K2 by A2 by K1 by A1 is equal to e to the power minus E2 by RT e to the power minus E1. We are taking the ratio of these two equations. We are dividing equation 2 with equation 1. So that K2 by A2 by A1 is equal to what happens? RT get cancelled. So the term left over will be E1 minus E2 by RT, right? So E1 minus E2 by RT will be given. That is nothing but e to the power positive value is provided to us. So hence the product of K2 by A2 into A1 by K1 is greater than 1. Based on this equation, it is very clear that K2 by A2 into A1 by K1 is greater than 1. That indicates what? This. So if any term is greater than 1, that indicates numerator value will be more compared to denominator value. So numerator value, here it will be a slight change. In this, it will be A1 into A2 divided by, here it is not a multiplication, it is a divided by, because we are dividing both the equations, right? So this divided by will be taken here. Right. So here, when we are taking this equation, please. Right. So this product of K2 by A2 by A1 by K1 is greater than 1. When it will be possible? So this value will be greater than 1 is possible when numerator value is greater than denominator. This clearly implies what? K2 by A2 is greater than A1 by K1, right? K2 by A2 is greater than K1 by A1. Nothing but A1 by A2 is greater than K1 by K2. A1 by A2 is greater than K1 by K2. So A1 by A2 is greater than K1 by K2. That is provided in option number 1. That's the reason why for question number 106, option number 1 will be the right answer. This is based on Arrhenius equation. Again, it is the part of chemical kinetics. We are taking the ratio of these two equations so that K1 by K2 is lesser than A1 by A2. This will be the right statement. Now, let us move on to next question 107. The fugacity of the real gas is less than pressure of an ideal gas at the same temperature only when TB is the boil temperature of the real gas. So here two terms are provided. One is fugacity, in other is pressure. This relation is, what is the relation between fugacity and pressure? Fugacity is less than pressure. F is less than pressure for ideal gas. So fugacity term related to real gas, pressure term related to ideal gas. This fugacity is less than pressure, right? And there is a relation with temperature also. So temperatures are given. One is normal temperature. Second is TB, that is boiled temperature is also provided. So this kind of condition is possible under which condition? So under which conditions? Pressure and temperature to be depicted. For that purpose, we have equation for the fugacity. Fugacity equation is integration 0 to P limitations Z minus 1 by P into dP is equal to ln pi. Okay, Z is denoted as compressibility factor, right? So integration 0 to P Z minus 1 by P into dP is equal to ln pi. This will be the fundamental formula in order to predict a fugacity, right? At low pressure, the conditions are if attractions are greater than F repulsions, nothing but force of attraction greater than force of repulsions. Okay, then van der Waals equation is written as, how can we write van der Waals equation? P n square P plus n square A by V square, P plus n square A by V square into V minus NB is equal to nRT. This is known as real gas equation, which is also called as van der Waals equation. Okay, ideal gas equation can be modified into real gas equation. So pressure correction and volume correction were made. What is the pressure correction? N square A by V square is the pressure correction. Volume correction will be V minus NB will be the volume correction, where A and B are called constants, and this will be the final equation known as van der Waals equation applicable to real gases, right? For 1 mole of gas, it is denoted as P plus A by V square is equal to V minus B is equal to RT. If you are taking only 1 mole, P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT. Okay, where A is greater than B, the value of A is greater than B, then we can discard the B parameters. Wherever B is there, that can be discarded. P plus A by V square into V is equal to RT, right? What we are doing, this B term is discarded because that will be ignored because it is a infinitesimal when compared to A. So that's the reason why P plus A by V square into V is equal to RT. Okay, now let us multiply this V with the entire equation. PV plus AV by V square, this will be the superscript here. So plus PV plus AV by V square is equal to RT. Now it can be written as V get cancelled. PV plus A by V is equal to RT. Divide both sides by using RT. Both sides we are going to divide with RT. PV by RT plus A by VRT is equal to RT by RT, right? So PV by RT ratio is taken as a compressibility factor Z. PV by RT is known as compressibility factor R. Yeah, the ratio PV by RT taken as Z is denoted as compressibility factor. Z plus A by VRT is equal to 1 because RT get cancelled. So Z plus A by VRT taken is 1, right? Now we can take Z is equal to 1 minus A by VRT. This entire term taken this right hand side. Now the equation is Z is equal to 1 minus A by VRT will be there. Okay, so if Z is less than 1, compressibility factor is less than 1, now it is taken as integration 0 to P limitations Z minus 1 by P into dP is equal to ln pi, right? Ln pi value taken as a negative. So if ln pi value taken as a negative, then ln F by P is equal to negative. So ln pi is nothing but ln F by P. So the pressure of the real gas less than pressure of ideal gas. This is the condition which is provided within the problem itself, right? That means fugacity is less than pressure. Fugacity is less than pressure. So fugacity stands for real gas and pressure stands for ideal gas. So this is possible at a low pressure conditions only. This is possible at low pressure conditions only. Then only we can apply this equation and then only ln F by P value becomes a negative. That is nothing but fugacity by pressure. Here it is very clear that fugacity by pressure is equal to negative is nothing but it clearly implies what? Fugacity is lesser than pressure. So if fugacity is more, what is the value we will obtain here? Positive value. but here fugacity value is lesser, then only the final product obtained will be negative. This implies the value of numerator will be lesser than value of denominator if is less than P. This only purely applicable at low pressure conditions. We applied low pressure condition. That's why. So here low pressure condition is the requirement. Now we have to depict temperature dependence. So normal temperature and boil temperature both are provided. So let us see what is meant by boil temperature. T denotes the temperature and TB is nothing but Boyle's temperature. At Boyle's temperature, force of attractions exactly is equal to force of repulsions. Both are exactly similar, right? So at this condition, in order to get force of attractions is equal to force of repulsions, boil temperature should be greater than normal temperature. Then only it will be applicable. Then only it is possible, right? So boil temperature value should be greater than, magnitude of boil temperature should be greater than normal temperature. Then only it will be applicable. So here low pressure T is lesser than boil temperature. Option 2 will give the right condition in order to satisfy the given problem, right? So for question number 107, option number 2 will be the right answer. This is purely based on Van der Waal equation. So Van der Waal equation, we are applying Van der Waal equation to this fugacity problem, right? So by substituting this, we will get, so two different conditions will be there. Low pressure condition, high pressure condition. This is applicable. The given problem is applicable to low pressure and the temperature should be less than boil temperature, right? So for question number 107, option number 2 will be the right answer. Let us move on to question number 108. For the reaction, water gives rise to hydrogen plus half O2. So here it is the reversible reaction is to hydrogen plus half O2. The equilibrium constant Kp depends upon degree of dissociation, alpha. That alpha is very lesser than 1 and total pressure P as here. There is a reversible reaction, decomposition of water into hydrogen and molecular oxygen. So this half O2 will be generated. So here it with Kp and degree of dissociation is denoted with alpha, then total pressure needed to be calculated, right? So for that purpose, we have the equation in this manner. Water turned into hydrogen plus half O2. At time 0 means initially. At initial instance, what happens? Water remains as such. There is no decomposition because time was not spent anymore, right? So initially, entire thing left as a starting material only. No product formation is possible. At that instance, we will say the concentration of hydrogen and hydrogen and oxygen will be 0. When time tends to 0, initial reactant will be higher and product formation will be 0. After T time, you may take half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. That depends upon the reaction progress, right? So after T time, initial molecules get some extent dissociated into products. We can say 1 minus alpha will be left over. Okay. Alpha extent of hydrogen will be formed. Half alpha extent of oxygen will be formed. Alpha is the degree of ionization. Alpha is given in the problem, degree of dissociation, right? So upon T time, what happens? Alpha hydrogen and 1/2 alpha oxygen will be formed and the leftover water will be 1 minus alpha, right? So let us take total number of moles. Let us add all these products generated after T time. 1 minus alpha plus alpha 1/2 alpha. We can add all these terms. Sum of all these can be considered. Okay. So what it will be? So 1 plus 1/2 alpha. 1 plus 1/2 alpha it will be, because plus alpha minus alpha both get cancelled. 1 plus 1/2 alpha will be left over, right? So mole fraction denoted with chi of water molecule. Mole fraction chi of water molecule is equal to 1 plus alpha by 1 plus 1/2 alpha, right? Mole fraction of water. In order to get the mole fraction of water, number of moles of water by total number of moles. Number of moles of water is 1 minus alpha. Total number of moles will be 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha. Then mole fraction of hydrogen, mole fraction of chi hydrogen, mole fraction denoted with chi. Chi of hydrogen is given by number of moles of hydrogen by total number of moles. Number of moles of hydrogen is alpha, by total number of moles will be 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha. Okay, for water molecule 1 minus alpha by 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha. For hydrogen molecule alpha by 1 to alpha, right? Then in order to predict the mole fraction of oxygen denoted with chi O2, chi O2 is nothing but mole fraction of oxygen. What is the mole fraction of oxygen? Number of moles of oxygen is half alpha. Half alpha by total number of moles. Total number of moles. Now Kp is equal to, we are going to predict the pressure. Kp is equal to, these can be taken in pressure terms. PO2, oxygen how much formed? Half mole will be formed. That is nothing but whole to the power half. Hydrogen how many moles? Only 1 mole. That's why PH2. Then how many water molecules dissociated? Only 1 mole. That's why by PH2O. Total pressure is equal to PO2 whole to the power half PH2 by PH2O, right? So this partial pressure is equal to mole fraction into total pressure. Partial pressure is equal to mole fraction into total pressure. Mole fractions of all these molecules individually we calculated just now. Mole fraction of water is known, mole fraction of hydrogen, oxygen, everything is known to us. Let us substitute in the equation for oxygen. So mole fraction of oxygen is equal to half alpha into P by 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha whole to the power half, right? So this will be the mole fraction of oxygen whole to the half will be taken because its power will be half. Then hydrogen mole fraction. What is the hydrogen mole fraction? Alpha P by 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha. Alpha P by 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha. This is the mole fraction of hydrogen. Then what is the mole fraction of water? Mole fraction of water is 1 minus alpha P. 1 minus alpha P by 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha. 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha. So this will be the partial pressure. Partial pressure is equal to mole fraction into total pressure, right? So total pressure is denoted with capital P. Partial pressure is denoted with Kp, right? So mole fraction, for individual mole fractions, we calculated chi water, chi hydrogen, chi oxygen. Those values will be substituted. And the condition provided within the problem, what is the condition? Degree of dissociation is far less than 1. Alpha is far less than 1. So that is indicated here. So that is indicated here. That's the reason why wherever alpha is present in the denominator, those will be discarded. So this is far less than 1. That's why wherever alpha is there in the denominator, those values will be discarded. So the equation is simplified as Kp is proportional to alpha P whole to the power half. So alpha P whole to the power half. Alpha P, because denominator term will be discarded, then by 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha. 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha whole to the power 3 by 2. Whole to the power 3 by 2. Now it will be written as to the power 3 by 2 by alpha plus, 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha whole to the power half into 1 minus alpha. So this will be the final equation. Kp is proportional to alpha P to the power, because Kp is equal to P to the power half into P by P. Kp is equal to P to the power half into P by P. Just this one only. P to the power half P into P, right? So that one we substituted alpha P 3 by 2 into P by 1 plus 1 by 2 alpha whole to the power half into 1 minus alpha, right? So that will be provided in the option number 2. Kp is proportional to A to the power 3 by 2, P to the power 1 by 2. A to the power 3 by 2 and P to the power 1 by 2, right? So option number 108, option number 2 will be the right answer. Let us move on to question number 109. The minimum work required by an engine to transfer 5 joules of heat from reservoir at 100 Kelvin to one at 300 Kelvin, right? So this is in accordance with first law of thermodynamics. The minimum work required by an engine to transfer 5 joules of heat from reservoir 100 Kelvin to one at 300 Kelvin. Okay. So let us apply first law of thermodynamics. Q is equal to W. So Q1 minus Q2 is equal to W. Q2 is equal to Q1 minus W. The efficiency of Carnot cycle denoted with neta. Neta is equal to Q by W. Neta is equal to Q by W. Q stands for heat of the system. W is nothing but work done, right? It is given by the equation 1 minus T2 by T1. Q by W is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. Q is the heat from the reservoir which is provided within the problem 5 joules, right? Q value will be 5 joules. Work done required, that is needed to be calculated now. W value is required to be calculated. T1 temperature 100, T2 is the final temperature 300. These are given in the problem. The equation for this one will be Q by W is equal to 1 by TH minus 1 by TC. What is the formula? Q by W is equal to 1 by TH minus 1 by TC, which is written as Q by W is equal to 1 by TH minus TC by TC. TH minus TC by TC, right? Q by W is equal to TC, because denominator to denominator it will come as a numerator value. So TC by TH minus TC. Q value is a 5. 5 by W is equal to TC value is 100. 100 by 300 minus 100. 5 by W is equal to 100 by 300 minus 100. 5 by W is equal to 100 by 200. Nothing but W by 5 is equal to 2 by 1. We are taking reciprocal of this one. Equation will be inverted here, right? W by 5 is equal to 2 by 1. Nothing but W is equal to 5 into 2. Now, the value is 10 joules. The required equation is here. What is the required equation? Q by W is equal to 1 by TH minus 1 by TC. So if we extend this, the final answer will be work done is taken as the 10 joules. So this is in accordance with first law of thermodynamics. For question number 109, option number 2 will be the right answer. Let us move on. 110, this is the last question of the series. The correct relation involving symmetry operations. So symmetry operations, what will be the relation we have to predict? So in order to predict this, we have some of the solutions here. For SC6 symmetry, SC6 square is there, that is exactly is equal to C6 square, which is equal to C3 symmetry. SC6 cube is there, that exactly is equal to S2 symmetry, that is provided in the problem. SC6 cube is there, that is exactly is equal to S2, right? So for question number 110, option number 4 will be the right answer, because there is a relation. We have some empirical parameters for SC6 symmetry. SC6 cube exactly is equal to S2, which exactly is equal to inversion center. SC6 to the power 4 is equal to C6 to the power 4 is equal to C3 square. And SC6 to the power 5 is equal to SC6 inverse. SC6 whole to the power 6 is equal to E, identity element, right? So in this manner, we have different correlations between the symmetry elements. Among all, the given problem is SC6 cube is equal to S2, which is the inversion center, right? So that is the relation provided within the problem. For question number 110, option number 4 will be the right answer. By this, we completed this series 5, where 10 questions got discussed in this. I hope this will be very much helpful. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you one and all.